Blog Talk Radio.
Right. All praises to our Elohim. All praises to our Elohim. The Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The one that we know as our Elohim. So it's just interesting. Before I get into it, we are the Negro is the only, well, not the only, because those Hamites are as well, but we ain't worried about the Hamites. I'm talking about the Negro, the Israelites. We are the only people outside of the Hamites, as I just said, on the face of the earth that has no God that looks like us, no characteristics of us. And the rest of the world seems to think that that's okay. So when we take back our Elohim and start using proper words, people say Yahweh Shai, people say Yeshua, Yahusha, Yahuwah, whatever. When we take it back, let them have their earth pig, their swine, their Cesar Borgia, their Jesus. They get offended. What do you mean? What is this? What do you mean that you that Jesus isn't for you, isn't your God? What do you mean? Listen, he looks like you. You think that our God, a God that is for us, that a great spirit that is ours, is going to look like you? Look like the oppressor? Stringy hair, straight nose, thin lips, pale face. That's an oppressor. That is an oppressor vision, an oppressor image. And so when we take it back, now there's a problem for them, not us. Everything has been fine for us taking back not only our spirituality, our wisdom, our Elohim, but also now our land. Taking back our heritage, taking back who we are. All the book reading, all the knowledge, all the understanding, okay, all the PhDs and the TDAs and all the other doctors and all, don't mean squat for us, because all that was for us to be to have a title in their world. And now that we look at these things from a unbiased, from a distance, we look at it, we see all types of errors. Like the red lights are going off, errors all the way around, like it's just full of errors. They so busy worrying about Trump. What is Trump going to do? Is he going to bring you back to 1950? Is he going to put you in a time capsule and bring your ass back to 1950? How is he going to make America great again? Taylor Swift? Is that some person that's going to give me money? Is she giving me money? Is she paying my debts? The Chiefs, is the NFL, does the NFL have any we pay these people. This is the joke. This is the joke and the error. All the money that the NFL, the Taylor Swift, $331 million. Well, that's got in the pockets of the people. Oh, the NFL makes $10 billion. That's out the pockets of the people. Oh, Congress gave $70 gazillion trillion to Ish. out of the pockets of the people. So we have taken a step back and said, nah, we're not entertaining, we're not paying you all's debts anymore. We're done with that. We're not giving money to the NFL. We're not giving money to the EPL. We're not giving money to the music industry. We're not, especially since we can download it for free. We got apps all over the place. I don't need your album. I don't need your $2 song. I can hear it on YouTube for free. So since we have now taken back, as I said, taken back our heritage, taken back our knowledge, our wisdom, our Elohim, taken back our heritage, our land, they are perplexed and they're going, but don't you want to pay for us to distract you? Hell's to the no. To the no. Why? I don't care. You're doing nothing for me other than in my pockets. Biden, Trump, politicians, entertainers, dance your jig over there with the 2/3 of the population that wants to see it and be part of it. Because at this stage in the game, none of that matters when you ain't got no food on your table. None of that matters when you ain't got no water, no clean water to drink. None of it matters when you ain't got no clean air to drink. Clean air to breathe. None of it matters when you ain't got no place to lay your head. None of that matters. Do you think that the homeless person cares whether or not who's going to be president or not? Do you think the homeless person cares who's going to be in the Super Bowl? Cares about Taylor Swift? Cares about Steve Harvey and his monkey coon ass talking about, oh, well, don't be a poor black person. Well, you damn right. We're the poor black people who keeps paying your ass. And somehow you don't want to be us. So why would we be bothered anymore? And this is the perplexion. This is why there would be no awakening if there was nothing hidden or nothing sweet. There would be no awakening if there was nothing hidden and nothing sweet. For there is, Luke 12:2-3, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Therefore, whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light, and that which ye have spoken in the ear in closets shall be proclaimed upon the housetops. That last part, the last piece of this, that which you have spoken in the ear in closets, that's the secret combinations. That's the agendas of politics, the agendas of the entertainment, the agendas of the schools and the titles of these people who set forth to create agendas against the poor black people. Now, we are not poor. We are rich. But thou art rich. But they want us to be poor in mind, body, and spirit. But the moment that we have taken back our mind, body, and spirit, they're fucking useless. They are useless. Useless vessels of no consequence to us. None. And I'm I gotta say this before I begin. Truly, that Sister Pat is spot on. The Scorpion energy is strong. It's strong. I want to curse them all. Not curse them out. I want to curse them all. But then I take a step back. I breathe through it. And I say, well, they've already cursed themselves. So therefore, I only need to be patient and endure and persevere through this beginning cycle of our jubilee. Now, people, what is it? I want to, so we know all about the Book of Jubilees. Okay, we've studied it, we've read it, we understand what's in it. But I want you to hear what they say the Book of Jubilees is, what's in it. The Book of Jubilees narrates the genesis of angels on the first day of creation and the story of how a group of fallen angels mated with mortal females, giving rise to a race of giants known as the Nephilim, and then to their descendants, the Elude. This is what they got going on. This is what they got going on. However, for us, the Book of Jubilees pseudographical work, not included in their romanticized, stolen compilation of Israelite scriptures, most notably for its chronological schema by which events described in Genesis on through Exodus 12 are dated by jubilees of 49 years, each of which is composed of 7 cycles of 7 years. 7 times 7 equals 49, not 50. They got, a jubilee is the 50th. It's a 50-year jubilee. No. For them it is. I shouldn't say no. For them, yeah, absolutely. You guys are on the 50. You guys are off by 1. But it's actually 49. And we're going to talk about that because I'm going to do my best to try to explain. Okay, so we know that the ring of fire has come through, that the ring was on Virgo's left hand, symbolizing a wedding is imminent. We then come into the age of Aquarius, Pluto dancing all over the place, the destroyer of the Gentiles showing up as a comet, which will also be signified with the X over the U.S., the comet, the destroyer of the Gentiles, on April 8th. Funny enough, let me see something. See if I can find it real quick. Hold on. Yeah, here we go. So these jokers, these nations are so ignorant. This is the most ignorant. These people are ignorant. And it's not even a joke. They're straight up ignorant. Okay, their whole logic about the eclipse, right? This is an article I found. It said why the total solar eclipse in 2024 will be different than it was in 2017. Okay, let me find this version. It says, okay, so this is, okay, so the role of solar activity, like the final of a fireworks show, the sun could add some breathtaking flair to the eclipse on April 8th that it didn't have in 2017, okay? The sun's magnetic field flips roughly every 11 years, causing a spike, then a lull in solar activity. In 2017, solar activity was at a minimum, but this year, eclipse viewers will get an additional, this is how ignorant they are, an additional treat as the sun becomes more active, with possible streamers flowing into the solar atmosphere from behind the moon's shadow, according to NASA. Okay. In addition to that, viewers will have a better chance to see prominences, which appear as bright pink curls or loops coming off the sun, NASA stated. With lucky timing, there could even be a chance to see a coronal mass ejection, a large eruption of solar material during the eclipse. Now, what that sounds like to me is all of them are going to get out there and get the hell burnt up, have radiation poison. And they don't even know it. They think it's cool. They think it's, oh, well, no. We're going to go and we're going to watch it. We're going to put these sunglasses on and we're going to watch ourselves. We're going to watch our coronas burn. It's going to be something out of a movie that I don't even remember what movie that it was. But something where all these people are looking up and then they get hemmed up. They straight up get hemmed up. And you know what? They got no one to blame but themselves. Or even better yet, the effects take place later. They don't even know. They're just dummies. Like, this world is not smart. It's incapable of proper deduction, proper reasoning. It is incapable. Okay. I just wanted to say that real quick. So, see, this is it. The year of Jubilee described in Leviticus in the Hebrew Bible was supposed to occur every 50th year. It is unclear how many times the Jewish people have celebrated the year Jubilees, but it has not been observed since around 600 BCE when the Jewish people were in captivity in Babylon. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so we're gonna talk about Daniel's, Nebuchadnezzar's, but Daniel's interpretation, his wisdom of the dream of Nebuchadnezzar. Okay, so first off, we got to get these dates down, and we got to get some understanding of the cycle of these things. And I'm going to show right quickly how Greece, how they bamboozled this. Okay, so first off, the head of gold Babylon, 626, 539, 626 to 539 BC. Okay, now BC. Okay, so BC is before Christ. And this is, again, how ignorant these people are, because their calendars, they decided, instead of starting it from 1 and up, I've said this before, I did a lesson on this before, but instead of doing 1 and up, they did before Christ and Anno Domini, which means in the year of our Lord. Okay, so after they killed Christ, then they started their time. This is the Greco-Roman calendar. They started their time forward. Okay, before it was, if you think of a timeline, you start from the left to right. It goes from whatever, let's say 1 to 0. No, it goes from, let's just use 500 on both sides. So it goes from 500 on the left down to 0, and then 1 to 500 to the right. Okay, this is their logic. Okay, so this before Christ, so Christ is 0. Christ would be 0. Okay, this is how they got this thing there. This is how our time has been usurped, and this is how ignorantly they have calculated time. So they say 0 is Christ. Okay, their Christ is 0. Okay, because they want to start their time with Christ. So before Christ, which we're gonna get. Okay, so the head of gold is Babylon. This is the first civilization. So all you Pan-Africanists that want to talk about, oh wow, Egypt. Listen, Babylon was the first civilization. Okay, so first civilization, Babylon, the head of gold, 626 through 539 BC. The breasts and arms of silver is Medo-Persia, which is 539 to 331 BC. Now, here's where they add themselves in. This is what Brother Judah always talks about, how they be adding themselves into stuff. And then this I'm telling you, they added themselves into it. So then they go Greece, and this is why, a Pan-Africanist, a Pan-African brothers. Why don't you guys take a look at these things and start calling out who you need to call out? Don't come after us. We already know the deal. We were in the beginning in Babylon. Okay? So the thigh of bronze, thigh of bronze. The Bronze Age, which occurred from about 3100 BCE to 1100 BCE, here we go again, you see what I'm saying, was the third phase of the development of objects used by humans. In many countries, including ancient Egypt, the Bronze Age saw stone tools and weapons replaced with metal implements as humans learned to work with metal. Okay, so in actual, Egypt was using bronze tools, bronze weapons. They were in the Bronze Age. But here it says thigh of bronze. This is where they interjected themselves. Greece, 331 to 168 BC. So they're trying to say they're ancient. But if we really look into this and really do some soul searching and understanding and acknowledge wisdom in this, this is not Greece, but Egypt. This is Egypt, the Bronze Age. This is not rocket science. This is not hard. The legs of iron. Now watch this. The legs of iron. Rome, 168 BC through 476 AD. Okay? So Rome, you might as well say Rome, Greece and Rome. Greece and Rome. 168 BC, right? The fall of Egypt, because this is when Greece came in and took over Egypt. Alexandria, Aristotle, Socrates, Cleopatra. This is when they came into the game. 168 BC, the end of the ancient era, going into after in the modern era. Greece and Rome, 168 BC through 476 AD, which I would even say, and this is just my thoughts on it, based on the wisdom and knowledge that I have, that this was not like 168 BC. No, it's probably started at 471, because Rome. I'm getting off track, but I got to look at this now, because when did Rome start? See, it doesn't even make sense. Ancient Rome began as an Italic settlement traditionally dated to 753 BC. No, wait a minute. 753 BC? That's before Babylon. Come on, niggas. Y'all are just so trifling. That's why I am so... I have to be patient, but I pray for them, for their demise. They lie. They are degenerate reprobates in their intellect, and they assumed the position over us as a foolish people and still can't get things right. I just want them gone, like literally. You know, that person that just overstays their welcome, that's what I want. I want them gone. Bye. It's just ridiculous. Rome was founded 753 BC. But how is Rome founded 753 BC? And that's before 626 BC Babylon. Come on already with your lies. That's why I want the Father, and I'm just reiterating this, but I really want the Father to punish them so bad. I really do. I don't want one stone left of their civilization. I really don't. But it's not for me to do. So who the hell am I? It's just what I want. Doesn't mean that it's going to happen. Okay, and rightfully so, and thankfully so. It's like, if the Father allowed us to have all our power right now, we'd be cursing these cats. They be all frogs. I'm just being nice, as I'm being mean at the same time, and I'm okay with that. I accept that. I repent of it too. But nevertheless, we move forward. because this stuff is such, it's all lies. Like they have lied about so much. And that's why we're going to get into this Jubilees, because I did some calculations. Oh goodness, hold on my pen. I did some calculations. And it was so simple a calculation, I was amazed and astounded. And I was like, look, what? So I said a Jubilee because I kept thinking, hey, didn't we just have a Shemitah and a Jubilee in 17? So we're 7 years ahead of that now, past that. What is this now? Would that be, isn't that a Jubilee now too? So I did some calculations and I said, okay, so 70 times 49. People go, what's 49? 49 is 7 times 7. 7 weeks of 7. 7 times 7 equals 49. Not the Cracker Jacks 50 Jubilee. Oh, it's a golden Jubilee. 50. 100 is a golden Jubilee. A grand Jubilee. No. 50 is not a Jubilee by the Israelite standard. Okay? 49 is 7 times 7. Let me get that real quick. Hold on. Here we go. Daniel 9 and 24. 70 weeks are determined upon the people and upon the holy city to finish the transgressions and to make an end of sins and to make reconciliation for iniquity and to bring in everlasting righteousness and to seal up the vision and prophecy and to anoint the Most High. Time out. Is that not what we're in now? Is that not what we're trying to, is that not what is happening? Not even what we're trying to do. Is that not what is happening? To make reconciliation for iniquity, for sin, to make an end of sins, and to bring in everlasting righteousness. Is that not what we're trying to do? And to seal up the vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy. Is that not what we're trying to do? Is that not what we're working towards? Okay, here in 2024. Okay, so this says. 25. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah, the Prince shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. So the street shall be built again and the wall even in troublous times. That's what we're doing. We're building. So this 3 score is 3.5. Okay. And after 62 weeks, shall Messiah be cut off. So that's the first 3.5, or we say 3.5, well, 3,500 years, right? Or 3,500, however, 3.5, 3.5. That's the first. The second is after our Messiah was cut off, after Rome destroyed our Messiah, okay? Then, so there's 7 weeks. 3.5 times 2 is 7. So 7 times 7. Okay. So let's go do the math. Read some things. Because what I did was a simple math. I said, okay, 70 times 49. That's 3,430. Okay. Get back to my calculator. Goodness gracious. So 70 times 49 is 3,430. Okay? So that's years. So that's 70, 49. So that's 70 jubilees, which is not 7 weeks of jubilees, but the 49, 7 times 7 years of jubilees. So 70 jubilees at 40. So 7 times 49, 3,430. So that's the number I came up with. And I was like, what is this? So I said, okay, let's subtract 2024 minus 2024. 1406. 1406. I'm going to say it again. 1406. Okay? So, interesting enough, 1406. This is why when I say that when we go forward, when I go forward in explaining this, we have to understand that the Gentiles have lied about everything, even in their numerical approach to things. Okay, it doesn't always line up. However, our records based on our scriptures and our historical books from the Hebrews that they had stolen and hidden and had time to digest and eat on gives us the proper numbers. Okay. So 1406. So I said, well, what the hell is that? What? Okay, so let me just take a look. What biblically happened in 1406? And here it gives you AD or BC. So I said, well, shoot, let's do, well, first, I didn't even check AD, but let me just look at AD real quick. There is no AD, okay? Nothing. But when you go BC, which is interesting because Babylon says the head of gold is Babylon, 626 to 539 BC, but this is 1406 BC, right? So I said, well, okay, hold on a second. What is this meaning of this? So what happened in 1406 BC in the Bible? This is after Moses dies, Joshua leads the Israelites into Canaan and begins conquering the land, establishing the nation of Israel for the first time in history. So I said, well, damn, 1406 BC is when our nation began. Our nation came into existence. And that was 3,430 years ago. Or rather, 3,430 years from the beginning, the start of our jubilees. Because this says about 1406 BC, about 3,400 years ago. You can't make this stuff up. So what does that all mean? We are now in the 70th Jubilee, which is the last one. The 70th, and I know, and people, well, I don't know. Okay, well, we've got the eclipse that just happened. We just got the age of Aquarius coming in. We got Pluto coming in. We've got the eclipse coming in. And then in the fall, we have the Jubilee. I mean, it all makes sense. It's all lining up. When 1406 years ago, we came in, was the beginning, the first time in history that the Israelites created Israel. Take that back. The Israelites or the Hebrews created a nation. They became a nation. And now here, 3,430 years from that point, them walking into the promised land, walking into Canaan, here we are being freed. I mean, you can't make it up. Here we are being freed from the Gentiles, freed from the Gentile head of gold, arms and breasts of silver, thigh of bronze, legs of iron, and feet of clay and iron. And we all know that's the revived Roman Empire, but they go, oh, that's Europe. Well, what's the difference? Isn't Europe Rome? Is not Europe Rome? Do they not deal with the same? Do they not have the same characteristics as Rome prior? Do they not do the same significant rituals and believe the same things and have the same religions and love the same idols as the Rome that was here before? Of course. So it's the revived Roman Empire, the fourth beast. See, in addition to all the knowledge, wisdom that we are gaining from a historical, spiritual, and earthly aspect of things, okay? Earthly, I'm saying earthly not as worldly, but earthly as in, historical earthly, what has gone on in the earth, flat earth, round earth, Antarctica, these things, the historical approach is earthly, okay? So from all these things, we have gained all this enlightenment. And it makes sense why things are being revealed. Again, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Therefore, whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light. This is what they have been doing. They've been speaking things in darkness. They have been covering things up. They've been hiding things. Who are they? We know who they are, the Khazarian, Germanic, Indo-Europeans, the revived Roman Empire. A bunch of these white folks who call themselves white, but they're Roman. We're just going for a lot of these modern Romans. They run around in their zeal to believe that they are somebody different, trying to tell us who we are. You niggas ain't nothing. You niggas are niggas. They make these little slide off comment remarks. They put it on social media, and you get all these people from around the world talking about niggas and nigger and negito and negita, and I'm thinking to myself, man, you guys are gonna pay big. All of you guys that's sitting around, hiding behind your little computer, talking shit. All of you guys are going to feel the pain. Every single one of you. And then you're going to look up, you're going to have that look on your face, and you're going to be upset. And you will have no one to blame but yourself. If nothing else, you should realize, well, these niggas ain't got no history, they ain't got nothing, but that correlates with this scripture that I don't ever read, that my pastor said that I don't need to read, but it correlates with it. Matter of fact, they're telling us that it correlates with it. Are they crazy? It's like they trying to vote now. I mean, they're not trying to vote. They want us to vote. They trying to pander. They coming out starting their little voting cycle where they want everybody to vote for them. Look at me, vote for me. Come on, please. I take care of you. I take care of you. Hey, listen. We're done. And if you do vote, okay, it's fine. Nothing new under the sun. But don't expect anything to change to the betterment for the Gentiles. For their time and turn is up. And that's not me being mean. Those are just the facts of the matter. All we got is white man Joe and white man Trump. That's all we got. That's all they got to give. That's all they got to give. Nothing more. All they got to give. They can't prance no Negro out there. Who? Tim Scott? Mushmouth? Oh, baby. That's who. No. He ain't. They already know that there is nobody that they can bring to the forefront for us. And it's interesting because the youth are not even entertained by their madness anymore. Because they want the youth to go fight for them. You guys need to go fight for us. So we're going to fight for the great-grands of the colonizers? Get the filth-flooring out of here. That is filth-flooring dumb. These same Trumps and Biden-age people who are wrinkled, trifling, don't have a clue, ignorant, and dumb, hate us. They hate us. I'm going to say it again. They hate us. They don't have their whole thought process that 80 years old is in their childhood, which is back in the 50s and the 60s. And that's when they hated us. That's when it was okay for them to hate our great-grands, great-great-grands, or great-grands. That's why it's a joke to me to watch these fools. All of them old, all of them trifling as hell, all of them are rich. And they got nerve to try to talk to us about debt. $30 trillion in debt. Are they going to pay that shit back? Hells to the no. And this is why it's funny to me how the Gentiles, the youth, and the ones that are born from 60 to 90, they don't see this. They don't see that that these old cantankerous white people, we call them what they are because this is what they want to be called, white people, who run, even the Negroes and those other people, they all want to be white. So these white people who are ruling at this moment, they have indebted their children. That is why this is a jubilee year, because the land goes free, the debts are freed, the slaves go free, and we are slaves. But in order for you to be freed as a slave, you have to know that you were a slave. So they don't know that they're a slave. They think that, I'm a white person, so I get the benefit from everything. Okay, slave. You're a slave. You're a slave to your rage and vain imagination. Why do the Gentiles rage and imagine a vain thing? Because they won't acknowledge that they are the slave. They won't. So here we are. We acknowledge, we've been slaves. We done. We don't want to be a slaver. Jubilee. There's no coincidence here that the age of Aquarius would not come in without a jubilee. They coincide. They go hand in hand. The final jubilee coincides with the new age. That's why they all up in arms. That's why they're trying to do all they can do to try to figure out how to stop what they can't stop. That's why there would be no awakening if there was nothing hidden and no one was asleep. That's the point. We've been asleep systematically and spiritually. And now we got our chance, our opportunity to wake up. To wake up and see. And now that we see, there's no unseeing these things. And it's interesting because there's no way, absolutely no way for us to get anyone to see anything that we see. There's no way. I've come to the realization that if you don't see it by now, you ain't never going to see it. But I've then stopped myself and said, if the Father wants you to see it, so be it. But if you can't see it, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm getting tired of dealing. I'm tired of watching their ignorant box and watching them lighten their face up. I'm tired of seeing them look like they are the epitome of righteousness, of beauty, of intellect. I'm tired of that. They're not humble, they're vain. Everything in Hollywood is about vanity. And the moment that, like, I stopped dealing with that years ago. And the moment I did, the moment I could see it was all vanity and all made up. And it just reminded me of, it is likened to when a woman, a fugly woman, I'm just going to say that, I don't know, a homely woman, fugly woman, puts on makeup and a wig and looks like a non-fugly woman. This is the analogy. This is what I see. The world had us believing as the world had made itself up to look beautiful, but the whole time it was a fugly woman. And now I can't unsee it. And I'm like, world, you guys are filthy. Look at you. Look at you. And other people are going, oh man, the world's beautiful. Look how beautiful they are. Oh God, I want to be like that. And I'm going, don't be like that. Oh, you're just a hater. I don't hate. I just see it differently than you. And this is the conniption that I'm in, because I don't see things like the normal slave to the world. I'm freeing my shackles. So the last thing that I want to do is put my shackles back on and blinders back on, put the pillow to my head and go back to sleep with the rest of the world to believe that this world is pretty. And it's not. And look, I'm okay with it not being pretty. I just don't want to be bothered with it. I don't want to date you, world. I don't want no parts of you, world. We're not going on a date. No, we don't. I'm not going to marry you. I'm not going to be connected to you. I don't love you, world. You're filthy. You're raggedy. There's no way of you and I getting back together, world. There's no way. I don't care for your intellect, your religions, your politics, your education, your entertainment. I don't care for any of it. I don't care for any of your titles. That's the key. The titles. I don't care about that. I just want to be me. I want to be debt free and be me. I don't want to owe you nothing. Usury-ish world. I don't want to owe you nothing. I'm so sick and tired of looking at you, world, with your clothes off, running around half naked, dirty, filthy, snaggled tooth, boogers out your nose, filthy. I'm tired of looking at you, running around like you're a queen. Queen of what? Queen of doo-doo? Queen of lies. Oh, okay. I see. And I know some brothers be like, well, we got to be all men and all women. We can all get it. No. Where you at, nation? What is it, nation? Rebirths. Where you at? Are you still following each other? When you could be following the Father, you could be learning yourself. You could be following the wisdom that the Father has given you. Oh, you are? Okay. Do your thing. Where you at, camps? What? When I got on this here platform, I said, look, everybody, we need to get together. But what I'm realizing is that that's not the case at all. It's only for the few, the very few. Everybody running around. I'm being a priest. I'm Judah. I'm Judah. I'm Judah. No, I'm Judah. No, I'm Judah. Niggas, who are you? Truly. Well, I'm Judah. Where you come from? Oh, I'm African. Okay. That's how you know who's who and what's what. Titles. This is Moshe Yahukanan or whatever the hell, Somebody, you don't get to have a title, Moshe. You're a man. You are just whoever you say you are by name. And it's okay to be the name that your parents gave you. Why not? As long as you following righteous works, why not? We're all going to get different names. We're all going to get different. It's all going to be different than what we even knew. It's like I was thinking about this. He said, Psalms 83, it said, let us cut her off from being a nation so the name of Israel will be no more in remembrance. Right? So, or I should say, and yet, the Israelis have Israel in remembrance. So some of my prayers have been, they're mocking you, Father. They're mocking us. They said that they're going to cut our name out of the history, the annals of life ever, but yet they're using it. And what came to me, what he gave me was, but I'm changing that name. I'm changing all of that. None of that's going to stay. Because they've taken everything, my goodly things, and they have made it an abomination. So like a good father, he's going to have to clean it all, It's like a Jeep. When you go mudding, I don't go mudding, but, they took a car and they go mudding like pigs, okay? Then they come from mudding, and I don't know if people know what mudding is, but in the South, they'll take a Jeep, fix it up, and then they'll go drive it through the mud, just like pigs, okay? Like the pigs they are, okay? Swines. Take something, a pearl, and they dirty it. Same thing. They took a car and they dirtied it, okay? So the father is just like that. He says, okay, I'm going to have to clean this car up. He's going to have to take it through the wash. And then it's going to come out not a dirty car, but a car. Just like he's doing for us. We're going to come out not a filthy, dirty person, but we're going to come out a person of the Father, a child of the Father, son of God, son of Elohim, right? You can't just come in filthy. So it's going to be it's the same practical principle with everything, over and over and over again. Even his land, even his world, even our minds. That's why now it is a Jubilee year. Now, let me get to this. Talk past my point of time that I... Okay, so I found this. What is this? This is Bible. And this is the thing. We're talking about prophecy, true Bible prophecy, and they're talking about Christian prophecy. We're talking about biblical prophecies, and they're talking about made-up Christian prophecies. So this is biblical prophecy numbers. 1260 days, 1290 days, 1335 days, okay? Jubilees, 49 years, and grand jubilees, 490, okay? So the grand jubilees is 490. Let me see this. Because I did that calculation too, but I want to get to this. 490. So 490 is the days, okay? So 490 days. Okay. Grand Jubilees, it's 490 days, which is 3.5 plus 3.5 equals 7. Okay. Which equals 390 days. So if you take 70 times 390, oh, shoot, my bad. 70 times 490, that's 34,300 days. Days. So if you do 70 times 49, that's 3,430 years. Okay? So if you divide 3,430 divided by 490, you should come up with 7. This is why this is so. and again, we just did it. 70 times 49 equals 3430, right? Minus 2024, 1406. 1406 is when we went into the land of Canaan, the promised land. Okay. So this is all signifying 2024. Let me see something. No, that doesn't work. All right, so 2024 is the year of the Jubilee. Hold on. Pardon me. Goodness. Okay, so let's get back at it. Oof. Okay, hold on. Okay, so as we know, let's go back to the head, which is 626 to 539 BC. So I'm going to read this. So this guy, this is, did I not say what this was? This is an article, Jubilees 49 and Grand Jubilees 490. So we're talking about the Grand Jubilees, but this is, excuse me, this is, who doesn't even say who wrote it. Interesting. Maybe I'll just, since it don't, this is, I'm gonna put this in the, I'm gonna put this link in the description box because this has a lot of information. But okay, so we're gonna start here because this entity, this person put a lot of information in this. And this guy says the following paragraph has been quoted verbatim from Wikipedia. Now we know what Wikipedia is, but this was interesting. He said, I am quoting it, he or she. It said, I am quoting it for 2 reasons. First, because I discovered the importance of the Jubilee years of 623 BC to 574 BC. Now, that's not too far off from the head of gold Babylon, so the beginning of Babylon, right? Or the height of Babylon, 626 to 539 BC. So this is, I discovered the importance of the Jubilee years of 623 BC to 574 BC in connection with the 1406 BC Canaan entry before I came across this article. Secondly, that the author adds additional information about the Talmud that I was unaware of. I'm quoting it verbatim because Wikipedia articles are notorious for being rewritten, and so this quote might otherwise be lost. Note that the below quote is using the inclusive view as explained above, which I didn't explain. You guys can read that. The exclusive dating of the Jubilee year would forward these dates by 1 year. However, most Gentile scholars do in fact believe that the fall of Jerusalem was in 586 BC rather than 587 BC, as is necessary for this date, so that the temple vision of Ezekiel would be in 573 BC rather than 574, unless using an autumn to autumn dating method solely for the second last date given in the book of Ezekiel, contrary to the rest of the dates in this book. Yet there would be some justification for this given these words, in the beginning of the year, which indeed would normally refer to the Day of Atonement that occurs just after Rosh Hashanah, the Ish New Year. But here it more likely refers to an anniversary of when Israel entered the Promised Land in Nisan 10, 1406 BC. In accordance with the spiritual, they got religious New Year used throughout the rest of the book of Ezekiel. Also of interest is that the 9th Jubilee was in 966 BC when Solomon began building the temple. And the 30th Jubilee was in AD 64 when Herod finished refurbishing Solomon's temple. The 21 Jubilees began between 966 BC and AD 64. That is 3 times 7 times 7 times 7 years. Effectively spans the history of Solomon's temple. Hold on. 3 times 7 times 7 times 7, right? That's 1,029. Okay. Effectively spans the history of Solomon's temple, which was destroyed in AD 70. Yahushua compared himself to this temple, and with his death, 49 years after it began to be built in 20 BC, 2 John 19 through 20, all this therefore ties in well with Ezekiel's temple vision in 574-573 BC, Tishri Nisan 10th. And all this goes not just a little way in proving that the Jubilee cycles indeed began in 1406 BC, which at any rate is in agreement with most modern, here we go, demon evangelical scholarship, okay? The 70th Jubilee year will begin in autumn of AD, which is us, 2024, and or 2025. Remember, that's because you give or take a year, okay? Also note the fall of Israel to Assyria in 721 BC on the 14th Jubilee. So see, this is what my point is, that they know. They know this. We don't know this. This is our Jubilees. It has nothing to do with them. They know this. They know when the Jubilees, when each Jubilee, they know when it began. They know each grand Jubilee when it happened. So the 70th, this is what they saying. This is what the demonic evangelical scholars are saying. That the 70th Jubilee year will begin in autumn of AD 2024. This is, again, after the age of Aquarius, after the eclipse. 3, the prime number. 3 things are happening this year. Major things. And it's all culminating with the major thing of our Jubilee. The fall. What else is significant with the fall of 2024? Is what we've been saying. Oh, it ain't gonna be no more. Ain't gonna be no more voting and presidency. Jubilees, niggas. We're done. My zeal is strong now. Fire in my belly for this year. It could be. It probably is Scorpio energy that's got me vexed. Why? Because I'm tired. We all are. Is it not right? Is it not fitting for this to be a Jubilee year? For as tired as we are? So don't sleep on that, family. Don't sleep. Do not sleep on this being the 70th. Oh, well, I don't know what you're talking about. 70th. What does the 70th Jubilee mean? What does that even? Why should I care about that? Well, let's see. Oh God, they always want to interject themselves. I need to do it. You always got to try to figure out how to go around the algorithm, or they'll just throw their own demons into it. I said, what significance is the 70th Jubilee? Oh, Queen Elizabeth II's Platinum Jubilee. No, we don't want your demon-ass whore queen. We don't care for her. Has nothing to do with England. The Messianic Jubilee declares that God has a divine plan and purpose for both Jew and Gentile in order to turn mankind from sin. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. I mean, what? I've come to realize that they have really, because we have used this Google, and they looking at keystrokes, they looking at search items and all. They have really. This is why they brought AI into the fold last year, so that AI could keep up with us and how well we've learned to search and how we actually search, how our minds are working to find things. So the AI keeps re-scrambling things. So when we go to look for one thing and we said, what is the significance of the 70th Jubilee? What they'll do is they'll throw in their Jubilees. They'll talk about the Catholic Jubilee, the 50-year Jubilee. They'll talk about the Queen's Jubilee. But they won't talk about the original Jubilee. When we're trying to find the original Jubilee, they've got it scrambled, because this is what their algorithms are set for, their AIs are set for. And, and this is the other thing. I think, and this is a side note, I think that it's time. This is just for me. I mean, I know that we got brothers and sisters out there that are deep. We know our scripts. We know our we know all our scripts, all our books. But to me, it's time for us to read them. So all the brothers that don't want to, and sisters that don't want to get on to these social media platforms and, bring it, teach, if you will, for lack of a better word, teach or bring lessons out. What they could do, and I should say what they should do, but what they could do to really bring the dagger in is to start reading the scriptures. See, this is what I've learned as well. There ain't none of us reading the scriptures. They're going to go get Morgan Freeman to read our scripture. Hell to the no. He ain't doing it. But the more we start reading our scriptures from our voice, from our spirit, that's the last game changer. Because all we get is white people reading it, or AI reading it, or English white people reading it, or Australian white people reading it, or just white people in general reading it. Our scripts. So what better way? And the Father the Spirit just had me say this. This is off script, but it's on script. It's time for us to read our own scripts. We can start reading from the Apocrypha. We can read from the Pseudepigrapha. We just take a chapter and we read it, and we put it on the internet, and just watch the Matrix the code to start to fall, the code to break. Because right now they still into their own vanity about how they see things and their own narratives about how they think things are to be and how they think things will be. But the way that we can circumvent all that is we read our scripts with our power, our voice. We blow the shofar through our breath, not theirs. We change the entire game. We don't need no TD Snakes. We don't need no Geno Jennings. We don't need none of them. We can do this ourselves. Each one teach one. We do this ourselves. But that was a side note. But I just want you guys to know that's what we need to do. That also, we need to get, I know we got brothers and sisters out here who are very good in coding, and we could create our own platform. We don't need them. The internet is free. It's free space. We can create our own. We don't need them. We don't need their YouTube to constantly be questioning us on what we said. We got to go around the algorithms for how we trying to bring forth information. They get mad and they want to strike us and then ban us and then tell us that we can't do this. But they let these crackerjack white people who get on here and spew hatred and have been spewing hatred get on here and talk shit. And they're okay. I'm tired of this wicked ass world. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of our old ass Negroes bending the knee in this world for this world's Christianity. I'm tired of that. The oppressor don't give a damn about us. And they show it every day. We ain't looking for nothing from them. We don't want nothing from them. Because when we get something from them, we want it all. And the only way we're going to get it all is if our Father takes it from them. And that's what's happening. So we don't want their fiat currency. We'll take it. Give it to me. Give me my dime and a nickel. That's fine. This is what you give to me. This will be your testimony. This is what you gave to me. Of all the resources that you've stolen from me, stolen from my father, stolen from my family, this is what you give me. So when the time comes where you nations are up against the judge, don't be looking back at me. Don't be looking back at us. Just kick on with your bad self and take your punishment. Because I got nothing to do with it. You want to give us money now? You even want to contemplate giving us money now when your money is shit? Is at the bottom? Nah, son, don't play me like that. Your dollar ain't shit. It ain't worth nothing. The BRICS got you beat. One of your dollars, America, NATO, Europe, is $55 of theirs. It's like us going to Mexico. So don't play me. I know better. And I do better. But I'm tired. I'm tired of the bullshit. I'm just tired of it. Like no heathen Gentile come to me with anything sideways. And even when you do, just know that I probably won't even entertain you. Because it is not worth my energy. Plus, it's a test so that I can endure. So that I can persevere. Because you damn sure ain't doing none of that. You guys are too busy looking for the Super Bowl. Who gives a Phil Flarn? Who cares? Again, the Chiefs and whoever else is playing, who cares? All the money that they make, we pay them. But I digressed. I got all sidetracked again. My bad. But that is why we're in a Jubilee year. It's like we've come to this point where there is nothing left to say. Now all we have to do is continue to do righteously amongst our brethren. See, and that's the key. We don't have to. They want to say, "Oh, well, all people." It's like it said here. What did it say? The Jew and the Gentile gets to sin no more. Nah, son. The Gentile gets to cleave and sin no more, but they gonna have to do something. This ain't no equal opportunity type madness. No, sir. No, sir. No, ma'am. You got to do something. You ain't going to cleave and come on my coattail and ride it freely. No. You got to do something. And because you guys have not done anything to this point, majority, most all, don't come eyeballing me. Don't be mad at me. Don't look for me. I'm not involved with you. And those that I'm involved with, you need to shit or get off the pot. Because I've come to the point where I feel like I'm ready to elevate further. But I can't do so because of the world. And it being the new age, it being the eclipse with the destroyer of the Gentiles, the destroyer of the Gentiles in tow, along with our jubilees, maybe whatever the Greco-Roman 2025 is, because actually I'll be 55. These numbers are, think about the numbers that you'll be in 2025. My outlook is great in 2025. 2024 is a freeing up of space. I keep feeling that. But it's going to take some work. It's going to take some work. Yes, sir. It's going to take some work. Yes, ma'am. It's going to take some work. Yes, sir. All right, this is the quote. The length of cycle historical considerations, although not cited by these degenerate Gentile authors, two historical arguments also argue for a 49-year cycle. The first is that the Samaritans celebrated a 49-year cycle, although the Samaritans stopped counting the Jubilees some hundreds of years ago. According to a recent report, an effort is underway to determine the date when counting ceased in order to resume. The counting will again be according to a 49 cycle. Then there's no comma in there. It's a period. So that's why I stopped. Okay. The counting, in order to resume the counting, will again be according to a 49-year cycle. Somehow the syntax off. But anyway, a second historical argument has been presented to the effect that the two instances of a jubilee mentioned in the Babylonian Talmud, this is what those issues be loving and fornicating on. Oh, another side note right quick. I ain't running out of time, but a little side note. So Ish is in Mexico in tunnels, human trafficking kids. Ish is in Mexico, so the Mexican Ishes, with their long sideburns, their little tall hats, small hats, and beards, and stringy ass beards, are in Mexico building tunnels, smuggling children. That was yesterday that came out. That news came out. It's Anyway, but they love the Babylonian Talmud. That's their thing. That's what they're all about, the Babylonian Talmud. People go, what's Talmud? The Babylonian Talmud. And it says, And I guess this is the citing, the site. It's not the word. The like we say, the scripture within the book. This is their. I won't even put our word to this abomination, but the Babylonian Talmud, Tractates Arakan 12a and Megillah 14b, whatever the heck that means, appear to be proper historical remembrances because the known calculation methods of rabbinic scholarship were incapable of correctly calculating the dates of the jubilees mentioned. Why? Because they are not true Israel. Rabbinic Talmudic scholarship always assumed non-ascension reckoning for kings, whereby the first partial year of a king was double counted both for him and as the last year of the deceased king. This reckoning would give 47 years from the jubilee mentioned in the 18th year of Josiah, Megillah 14b, to the jubilee that took place 14 years after Jerusalem fell to the Babylonians, Arakan 12a, whereas the correct difference was 49 years, 623 BC to 574 BC. Okay? So again, in the information that I found based on Daniel's wisdom given to Nebuchadnezzar for his dream, the head of Babylon is 626 through 539 BC. But this is saying during that time, 539, 574. So what is that? They added, no sooner did this, did Daniel give this information. So they're saying 623 says 626. So 539. What is it? 574. So another 35 years. So they're going from. There's a difference in their time period of the civilization of Babylon of roughly 38 years. Okay, so whatever. We'll throw them a bone on that. Okay. So anyway, this has been presented as additional evidence that the cycle was 49 years. 49 years, and further that the cycles were being measured until the last Jubilee in the days of Ezekiel, when the stipulations of the Jubilee year, long neglected except in the counting of the priests, could no longer be observed because the people were captive in a foreign land. So the 490 years of Daniel's prophecy. The number 490 found in Daniel 9:24-27 is a key number, for in it are found all other biblical prophecy numbers. Its breakdown is as follows. 70 times 7, 490 days, and they say days/years, which it's days, which is further broken down as 7 times 7, 49, 62 times 7, which is 434, and 3.5 plus 3.5 equals 7. So that's how they're coming up with the calculation of 490. So 49, 7 times 7 is 49. 62 times 7, I think that's the 62 weeks, but I'm not sure about the 62. But they're saying 62 times 7 is 434, and then 3.5 by 3.5. 3.5 plus 3.5 equals 7, which is 490 days or 490 years. Okay, so that's the numbers that they're getting in Daniel 9:24-27, which is actually true. Let's go back. Golly, what did I just do? Nope, there it is. It's not. No, here it is. Okay, so this is Daniel 9, and yes. Okay, so 24 through 27. 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city to finish the transgressions and to make an end of sins and to make reconciliation for iniquity and to bring in everlasting righteousness and to seal up the vision and prophecy and to anoint the most holy. There's your 70 weeks. Okay. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandments to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah, the prince shall be 7 weeks and 62. Okay, there you go. The street shall be built again and the wall even in troublous times. And after 62 weeks, so that's 3.5, shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself, and the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, talking about the heathen, and the end thereof shall be with a flood, and unto the end of the war desolations are determined. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and oblation to cease, and for the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. Okay, so, these crackers always want to take liberties and stuff. So, whatever. They take liberties with our stuff. I'm not even going to get into all that, but okay, they break. Okay, so wait, here we go. The 490 years or days, see what I'm saying? Years or days of the prophecy in Daniel 9 is broken down as units of 7 times 7 days or years. 49 times 10 equals 490, and is also made up of 7 and 70 year units. 7 and 70 year units. The last 7 years of the 490 of the 490 years is also highlighted by the prophecy as 483 years plus 7. Recall the 483 years from Jacob to the Exodus. These are the same kind of time frames to do with the Jubilee cycles given by our Elohim to Moses on Mount Sinai, Leviticus 25. Thus, the prophecy of Daniel's 70 weeks is borrowing from the language of the Jubilee system as explained in Leviticus 25. The context of the prophecy in Daniel 9 itself makes this connection certain. For the prophecy came to Daniel upon completion of the 70 missing Sabbath years, as earlier prophesied by the prophet Jeremiah. The prophecy of Daniel, therefore, simply reveals further numeric details concerning Jeremiah's prophecy about these missing Sabbaths. Okay, so then it breaks down Daniel 9. It says, in the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, understood by the books the number of the years whereof the word of Jehovah came to Jeremiah the prophet for the accomplishing of the desolations of Jerusalem, even 70 years. Okay. 9:24, 70 weeks of years are apportioned out upon the people and upon thy holy city to close the transgressions and to make an end of sins and to make expiation for iniquity and to bring in the righteousness of the ages, the righteousness of the age, of the Aquarius age, and to seal the vision and prophet and to anoint the holy of holies. They'll say, oh, you're adding to or taking away. Nigga, please, you guys have added to and taken away. I'm just making things right. I'm just putting things in its proper context from the wisdom of a Hebrew Israelite, a spiritual light, not a heathen Gentile, Christian. Daniel 9:25. Know therefore and understand from the going forth of the word to restore to and to build Jerusalem unto Messiah, the prince, are even 7 weeks and 62 weeks. There you go. The street and the moat shall be built again, even in troublous times. I don't know if this is KJV or not. Daniel 9:26. And after the 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off. Okay, so they've calculated that from the KJV. So we don't, let's just stick with the 70 times 49. Even though we know, based on what they're saying, it still all works out to be 3,430 years from 1406, the first Jubilee, to 2024, the last Jubilee. Okay? Yeah, because I'll let you guys, I'll put this in here, and you guys can read it. So it says the first Jubilee was intended to be in the fall of 1444 45 BC. It's so funny how they got all this information of our jubilees and all that, but they don't know who we are. They don't know where they are. They don't know where these Israelites are. They're done away with. This is why you know wrath is going to come upon them, because they are liars. If they know all this, they know exactly who we are. As we all know, it is us who didn't know who we are. But now that we know who we are, we're done. We don't need them anymore. They were charged for putting all the information out there, so when we wake up, it just comes to us like that. It brings us back to remembrance. But they're still perplexed about it. The first Jubilee was intended to be in the fall of 1445 BC, but was delayed till 1406 BC. There's a lot of good information in here. I mean, honestly, when you look at the numbers, like this guy, whoever this is, because again, it does not give me a name, any type of significance of an author. That's why I picked this, but I just want you guys to know, when you look at this, you're not going to see an author. And maybe you do, and you can give it to me, tell me, but I mean, I don't see an author in here. I say this is the Father making them put it together as, you know, what is it called? One of those guys that they do the, when they write a book, a ghost writer. This is, you know, a spiritual writer, a spirit writer. This is what the Father had them do, you know, because this does not have any of an author on it. But nevertheless, this is great information, and I wanted to bring this out because I wanted people to understand that, hey, we are in a Jubilee. All the information that, you know, Brother Judah, you know, Abdul Asir, you know, Big Levi, you know, Sister Pat, you know, Brother Maine, you know, Yaiquab, you know, all these brothers and sisters that's putting down this work, which is interesting because none of them are saying, hey, I am King, you know, I am Moshe, I am, call me by. Nobody's doing that. They all just got these names, these monikers that they put out there so that people can remember it and come to them and get information. None of them are arrogant. None of them are coming out with egos. Listen, we ain't got time for that. This information is so important to get out in front of the people that there's no time for egos. So those brothers and sisters that you got to go and go, you know, dress all funny like and go to their things, you got to be part of it like a church, or you got to go over here and, you know, you got to sing and dance all day for 12 hours. Then you got to hear another 5 hours worth of them pontificating about the scriptures when you can do it yourself. All that is idol worship, just like the church. Just like the Christian, heathen, Gentile church. Everybody wants you to follow. That age is done. The age of Pisces is over. We don't have to follow a man or woman. It's the age of Aquarius. The knowledge is outpouring. All we have to do is seek it, is learn it, is accept it. It's here for us. Matter of fact, it's here for everybody, but more so for us. So all these other brothers that got to have a title, King Yeshua, Shawa, Shanka Show. You know, all that is madness. When you see that, that is an agent. Those are liars. Those are thieves. They are coming to rob you, the true and righteous seed. And we ain't got time for that. We ain't got no time for that. This is our Jubilee. This is our Jubilee. We ain't got time for all that. So we kicking off the dust. All these sisters and brothers just running around here trying to talk about, yeah, you know, I mean, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. You know, we all coming from Africa. What? Agent. You know, you doing too much. You need to repent on that. We're not all from Africa. And it's the stupidest thing I ever heard in my life. Currently, because I did hear it before and acknowledged it. But now, not so much. Oh, we all came over here on slave ships. You're giving them too much power over you. They never had that. They never had the capabilities to do that. Why do you give them such power? stop with that. These people had no power to do anything other than write it down. And when they wrote something down, what did they do? We're the only people on the face of the earth that was destroyed to read their English. Everybody else was fine with it. Everybody else, as a matter of fact, everybody else was able to keep their own language or read another language. We're the only people that couldn't read nor write their cracker-ass language. I mean, if that don't say who's who, I don't know what does. But that doesn't mean that they, rustled us all up and put us in some ships and drove us over through the ocean. No. Logistically, it's a nightmare. So when you hear brothers and sisters talking about we are from Africa and the 12 tribes over there, you know that they are an agent, period. Because they are not historically accurate. So they're either dumb or they are a liar like their father. And when you hear brothers talk about, that's crazy. We're Moors and we all came from Egypt. Listen, I just told you, you don't even question where you fall in the timeline of the heathen. Matter of fact, they took over Egypt and said that they absorbed Egypt into Greece, put Greece as the Bronze Age. Go fight them. Don't come over talking to me. Us. All of these people the Native Americans, listen, the so-called Native Americans, you guys are sitting over here trying to come after us. Look, you need to be talking to the white man who destroyed your forefathers. I think that you should be mad at them. Don't be mad at me for saying that they destroyed my forefathers that was here originally. If anything, you will be on my team, but it shows that you ain't on my team. Agent. We can go on and on and on. Y'all crazy. Y'all over there eating babies, drinking blood, fornicating with children. Y'all are demented and reprobate. Y'all got problems. Not all, but the majority of y'all got problems. Y'all need to sort your own mess out. Don't even talk to me. I'm talking about what I'm talking about based on my spirit. I don't need your spirit. Spirit is wicked, full of wickedness based on your actions. You think that you have the right to what? Protect yourself? Defend yourself? Nigga, please. So do I. We can go on and on and on all the way. You want to play this game? We can go through history and back. Because now we in our jubilee plus some. And now our power is strong. Like our knowledge, our wisdom is strong. We are being sharpened. You guys are dulling. The Father is dulling your tip. That's why y'all can't have no more babies. Your tips are dull. We sharp. Because we got a civilization to populate. We got a kingdom to populate, to repopulate. We can go on and on and on. And people, you guys are mean, you guys are hateful, you guys are racist. Please miss us with that. We got no time for that. We are dealing with us. If you want to be part of us, come on. We ain't mad. Come on. Come with something, though. Come with receipts. Come with information. Come with wisdom. Because if you don't, you will be cast away. We ain't got time. This is our jubilee. This is about us. We have let you have it all about you for too long. Now it's about us. And if you don't like it, tough. Take it up with the Father. Take it up with the Father. It's 11:11, and that is my cue. I look down, it's 11:11, and now it's 11:12. All praises, family. All praises. Hope you were edified. I know I ranted and raved. because I'm tired. But together we'll make it through. We'll persevere and endure. Know that we all are in this together and that I love you. That the love of our family, of our kingdom does not wax cold, nor is it old. But it's new as we come into our jubilee. All praises. Shalom.